Former President Donald Trump is once again attacking Ron DeSantis from the left. Oh, what? Interesting. So there's a new ad that was released on Friday that goes after Ron DeSantis for supporting a national sales tax. I'm going to get into what that is, why it's regressive, and why it's actually smart to go after that. But first, I want to show you the ad.
Run the sales tax at a plan to make you pay more.
With the sales tax here,
And the sales tax there.
here a tax,
There a tax.
everywhere a sales tax.
In Congress, Ron DeSantis backed a national sales tax, a 23% tax hike on almost everything you buy, from the gas station to the grocery store.
You'll pay more here.
You'll pay more there,
Here you'll pay.
there you'll pay, everyone will pay more.
90% of families would get a tax hike if DeSantis replaced the current system, making Biden's inflation hit even harder. We can't afford Ron sales tax.
Okay, you guys get the drift, right? That's actually pretty funny. Not bad. Not bad. Of course, they had to get into, the Biden inflation. You mean the corporate inflation? The fact that we have multiple CEOs on video admitting that, oh yeah, we're just taking advantage of this whole inflation narrative in order to pad our pockets, to raise prices. But anyway, aside from all of that, hitting Ron DeSantis, that's a good ad. Oh, that's a good ad. As one of you just said, Grumpy Cat says, Trump kicked Ron in the meatballs. Oh, oof. Oh, that's a good one.
My.
Okay. All right. So that's fun. And there's some factuality there as well. Okay. So now the Fair Tax Act of 2015, which again is anything but fair, as you can see, which DeSantis had co-sponsored, would have levied a 23% sales tax as a replacement for the current income and corporate income tax, employment and self-employment taxes, and estate and gift taxes. So all of that replaced with a 23% sales tax. Now, the bill would have also blocked all funding to the IRS because, of course, after 2019, and would cancel itself if the 16th Amendment, which first authorized an income tax, was not repealed within 7 years of the bill becoming law. What a weird piece of legislation, but it's basically there. This is Ron DeSantis at the time saying, corporations, pick me. I will defend you. Please give me all the donations and help me, and I will help you. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to help the rich. This is a massively regressive tax. In fact, this is not the first time a national sales tax bill was put forward, and it used to be just like fringy people that would bring it up. But now apparently the fringe, when it comes to the Republican Party, is the mainstream. Now, back then, this was in 2005. The Tax Policy Center looked at this, and actually the numbers are a little bit different because it's a 22% national sales tax, but they found, as they would find when they do the new study on this, that it massively favors rich people. Because of course it does. Now, a sales tax rate of 22%, which they were floating at the time, would increase taxes in the lower 80% of the income distribution by, at that point in time, in 2006 dollars, $250 billion. Now, it's going to be more, obviously, because of the value of today's money, $2023 compared to back then. But still, you're going to have poor people, working class people, middle class people, everyone except for incredibly wealthy people paying a crap ton more. Now, the lower 80% of the income distribution would have gone, again, back in 2006, from paying 15.8% of federal income taxes to paying 34.9% of federal retail sales taxes, while the top 20% of the income distribution would go from paying 84.2% of the federal income taxes to 65.1% of federal retail sales tax. So again, Ron DeSantis saying, I will serve you, rich people, pick me. Pick me, pick me. Okay. Now, that said, yes, while DeSantis is trying to get wealthy donors that he can serve, remember Donald Trump, he's not also the good guy here. So let's be very clear about that. Donald Trump is out to serve who? Well, Donald Trump, of course. Now, a pro-DeSantis super PAC actually hit back with an ad showing Trump supporting the fair tax. And accused Trump of attacking DeSantis from the left, which again, in this case, is true. Now, why would you hit somebody from the left? Well, it turns out because this policy from the left, a progressive tax system, is actually more popular. Wow. Big surprise. Turns out it is not popular to cut taxes for rich people and raise taxes for everyone else. Weird, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure it doesn't take, a very, very expensive 8-year economics degree to figure that one out. It certainly doesn't take whatever degree Elon Musk has, if he has one, in order to figure that one out. Certainly doesn't take it, a degree from Wharton, where Trump went, his alma mater, to figure this one out. No, you just have to look at polls. Just have to look at polls. Now, and by the way, I have some polls later. Now, that said, Trump's whole point of using this attack, and again, other than it being smart politics, is he's touting his own tax cuts for the rich. And in the latter part of that ad, he said, well, he pointed out that his Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, right? In fact, as a result of the Trump Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in 2018, the richest 400 families in the U.S. paid an average effective tax rate of 23%, while the bottom half of American households paid a rate of 24.2%, which means, as a result of Trump's tax cuts, people in the middle class and working class paid more than rich people. Now, researchers at the Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy also surveyed corporate financial reports for the first year that the Trump tax cuts were in effect. They looked at 379 profitable Fortune 500 companies and found that they had paid an effective tax rate of just 11.3% on their U.S. income in 2018. Huh! And what did they do with that money? Oh, wow, that's a good question. That same year, an analysis by the International Monetary Fund found that the top S&P 500 companies directed just 20% of their increased cash flow towards capital expenditures or did research and development. The vast majority of it, 80% of it, went to stock buybacks, dividends, and other asset planning adjustments. Those types of expenditures overwhelmingly benefit foreign investors and the wealthy who own the majority of corporate stocks. So let's be honest, both of them serve rich people. DeSantis, again, serves the wealthy donors. Donald Trump serves himself. There it is. Now, it is pretty interesting, though, to watch this happen, because it turns out on the right wing, the average Republican voter, lower income specifically, well, they don't want to pay more taxes. And they also don't think that the rich are paying enough. In a recent Pew survey, almost half of all Republican and Republican-leaning Americans, that's 46% total, feel that some corporations don't pay their fair share. But I'm sure, of course, the only corporations that count are the ones that are woke, right? The too woke. The wokers. No, let's be more fair. Because it's true, because people can see very plainly that, yes, corporations do not pay their fair share. Now, among all Americans, 65% say that corporate taxes should be raised, with 39% saying they should be raised by a lot. Oh, and by the way, getting back to almost half of Republican and Republican-leaning Americans, 43% feel that the wealthy also do not pay their fair share. So now I've got some polling here. Let's take a look at that. About 2/3 of Americans say corporate tax rates should be raised. 39% say they should be raised by a lot. Wow. And again, you look at all the Republicans, obviously the most conservative Republicans, still you have 37% saying, well, yeah, they should still be raised. or kept the same. If you're, I guess, a moderate liberal Republican, that shoots way up. And it's like, hey, yeah, no, corporate taxes, they should be raised. Yeah. And of course, Democrats just blowing it out across the board. Funny enough, you even have upper income Democrats and leaning Democrats saying, raise corporate taxes, raise them already. Funny enough, strange to see among Democrats seeing lower numbers, 72% saying, we should raise corporate taxes by a lot, but it's a smaller number than upper and middle income Democrats. So I think it's really, really interesting on that one. So that's just recent polling, again, from March 27th to April 2nd. Now, here's why that matters. If there's one thing that Donald Trump reads, and he don't read much, it's polls. He reads the polls. And while Ron DeSantis is trying to get wealthy donors with varying degrees of success, Trump's actually doing the politically savvy thing. And that is to run populism, even though we all know that it's fake populism. And he doesn't actually care about working people, just cares about himself. Hey, but part of apparently him caring about himself is that he has no problem lying to the voters and actually taking a populist position.